A millionaire sees a beggar with a child on the street and does the unthinkable. What happens next is shocking. Raphael is a billionaire who leads a strict and disciplined life in a city where he behaves with great restraint and fulfills his duties without surprises. His routine of appointments and order is disrupted when he sees a woman on the sidewalk trying to protect her son from the rain, awakening his long-dormant feelings. In this unexpected encounter, Raphael's enthusiasm mixes with the urgency of a sincere and unexpected gesture. The street scene reveals the strength and vulnerability of lives in collision, awakens long-dormant feelings, and opens the way to a transformation that has not yet been fully revealed. Stay tuned and discover how this moment can change the course of an entire life and reveal secrets that challenge what has always been thought unchanged. Raphael is a renowned coach who has built his career with precision and discipline. He wakes up every morning in a perfectly located apartment in a gray city, where the streets and buildings reflect the order he strives to maintain every day. From a young age, he learned to manage deadlines and objectives without leaving room for the unexpected. Your itineraries are carefully planned, and your daily life is characterized by non-negotiable obligations that allow you to focus your efforts on work and the predictability of your existence. Every step he takes on the busy streets reflects the courage and determination that led him to the success he enjoys today and took him away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. This discipline shapes your habits and keeps your professional path stable, even despite the challenges of a demanding and responsible daily life, so that your path is safe and precise. In an urban environment dominated by shades of gray, Raphael stands out for the elegance and impeccable attitude that has always accompanied him. His travels through busy streets and strolls through large shopping centers reveal a life based on order and precision. From the corridors of his palace to car journeys, he follows a meticulous journey that allows for no surprises or unexpected interruptions. For those seeking spontaneity, the city may seem cold and soulless, but for Raphael, the well-organized streets and bright details are planned and consistent with the goals that guided his decisions. This clarity of purpose motivates you to maintain routine and strive for consistent results even when environmental conditions are difficult and unpredictable, thereby cementing an existence based on the accuracy and certainty of a well-executed plan. Raphael's routine seems unchanging and straightforward, as his days are filled with predetermined activities that ensure admirable efficiency and eliminate confusion. In boardrooms and on short excursions between meetings, movements are evaluated and organized without allowing uncertainty, reflecting a mentality that values absolute control. The work environment reflects this precision, where tasks have precise times and goals are carefully controlled, so that sensations are considered elements that can disrupt the concentration necessary to achieve the desired results. Your existence therefore promotes order and predictability, and protects you from the risk of getting lost in dreams or in the unexpected changes that the world outside the company walls has to offer you. This belief allows you to maintain complete control over your professional and personal life, even when external pressures attempt to upset the balance you have worked so hard to achieve, and ensures that your path will be one of consistency and determination. It was a normal day for Raphael, and his routine was meticulous. However, at an unexpected moment, he saw a scene that disrupted the balance of the day. On the wet sidewalk, he saw a woman trying to protect her son, her eyes full of worry. The woman wore worn clothes and her movements showed fatigue and determination. She had difficulty holding the baby who seemed fragile, and the rain and wind made walking even more difficult. The panorama of the city remained indifferent, but the presence of this figure awakened in Raphael a feeling which had been dormant for a long time within him and seemed forgotten in the rhythm of the meticulous life he led. Walking down a busy street, Olivia faced challenges other than the constant rain and incessant wind. The difficulty of finding shelter and a safe place to protect themselves colored their steps with a mixture of fear and hope. The mother hugged the child so enthusiastically that strength and determination were evident in her gestures, which told a story of fighting against adversity. Flooded streets and a lack of public support have further complicated the situation, underscoring the harsh reality that there are no shortcuts. The traces of fatigue on her face mingled with hope for better days as she battled the elements and sought shelter for her little one, facing each obstacle with calm and tireless courage. Raphael looked closely at the scene before him and became very worried. He stopped the car, deviated from his meticulous routine, and paused for a moment. As he watched his mother work hard to protect her son in the face of adversity, feelings he had long ignored broke the silence within him and awakened a compassion that surprised him. He began to see more clearly the silent struggle hidden behind the tormented faces of cities and to recognize the strength that emerges even in moments of vulnerability. The contrast between the precise order of his existence and the obvious vulnerability of this woman awakens in him the will to act and calls into question the value of the certainties which have always guided him. This attentive and empathetic gaze encouraged him to rethink his rigorous routine and create space for empathy and the desire to help, as if the feelings contained in his soul had finally found a reason to manifest. Moved by this new perception, Raphael decides to intervene discreetly, approach with caution, and offer sincere help. He knew that despite the security his routine gave him, there were times when humanity had to step up and support those in need. With a brisk step and a determination that contrasted with his usual composure, Raphael approached Olivia, stooping to offer her protection and care without ever invading her space. His action was motivated by a deep desire to transform the reality he witnessed and to demonstrate that even in the predictability of a life based on order, compassion can emerge. By offering an alternative, I wanted not only to help a mother in a difficult situation, but also to restore that sensitivity that had been silenced by routine, opening the way to a new perspective and the possibility of rebuilding what had been broken in that moment of vulnerability. With an unexpected impulse, Raphael invited her to get into his car, thus breaking the predictability of her existence. He noticed that Olivia smelled strongly of the rain and the weariness of life on the streets, and that the boy had a weakened appearance and a weariness that betrayed the weight of so much effort. Her gaze expressed the constant struggle to protect her little one, even in the middle of an unforgiving city. This scene awakened a long-dormant feeling in Raphael and pushed him to act without hesitation. I knew there was a friend in that area who had a spa, a place where one could bathe and wash and which offered relief in such complicated situations. The decision was taken with the urgency of the help and the desire to provide care that would transform this moment of tension into an opportunity for renewal. With determination, Raphael picked up the phone and called a friend who owned a spa. The request was made sincerely and without formalities by telephone, and the difficult situation in which Olivia and the child found themselves on the street was explained. Even though the situation was quite unusual for him, his friend did not hesitate to offer his help. Raphael considered this gesture necessary to relieve the suffering he was experiencing at that moment. The telephone was the link between the desire to heal and the ability to transform a difficult reality into something more bearable. The words exchanged showed the urgency and commitment to the well-being of those who need shelter to recover from the fatigue of the city and harsh weather conditions. When they arrived, they entered through the exclusive entrance where Raphael always had more privacy. The spa atmosphere was refined and welcoming, designed to provide all the comfort needed at that moment. There, the reserved space offered Livia and her son basic hygiene care and a moment of peace, far from the chaos and violence of the streets. The calm and peaceful atmosphere contrasted with the hustle and bustle of the outside world, and Raphael's gesture became a sign of hope for both. This place gave them the freedom to face the situation without rush or judgment, demonstrating that even in the midst of difficulties, one can always find support and a path to a new beginning. Raphael contacted another friend who owned a clothing store and asked him to deliver new clothes for Olivia and the baby. She knew that new clothes brightened her eyes and transformed feelings of desolation into hope. When a friend received a request, he offered modern and comfortable solutions to make his wife and son feel welcome. The chosen look reflects the care and desire to renew the appearance, adding a touch of lightness to such a difficult situation. A personalized catering service appeared in the same spa, completing the transformation started by Raphael. The place was elegant and welcoming, preparing fresh and nutritious dishes to give special attention to customers. Raphael took the opportunity to treat Olivia to a comforting meal and give the baby the milk he needed to grow strong. The meals were prepared with care and attention, highlighting the importance of meeting the basic needs of people suffering from the inconveniences of daily life. The taste and quality of the food helped alleviate the difficulties on the streets and showed that a gesture of solidarity can change the reality of those in need of a fresh start. The care given to Olivia and the child aroused a feeling of humanity and compassion that spread throughout the region and touched the hearts of all those who witnessed this act. The new clothes that the store offered them brought them comfort and the feeling that a new phase was opening for them and that they were beginning a path full of possibilities. The carefully prepared food and attention to basic needs reaffirmed the belief that solidarity can change lives, even when the world around us seems cold. This combination of simple and sincere gestures completed the transformation, renewed hope, and demonstrated that mutual support can be the key to a meaningful new beginning. After changing, Olivia reappeared in the dining room with an air of renewal. Her face shone with a delicate light and her beautiful green eyes expressed gratitude and hope. As he took confident steps, a gentle and tender smile appeared on his face, showing that the attention he had received was already making a difference. Raphael silently observed the change reflected in his posture and facial expression. He felt an unexpected feeling invade him, something that contrasted with the rigidity of his ordinary existence. Even as this feeling grew, Raphael continued to focus on providing needed support, remembering his responsibilities and his duty to help, without giving in to his impulses. The atmosphere exuded peace and hospitality, and the simple and sincere gestures made this moment even more meaningful for both of us. Raphael and Olivia were seated at a very comfortable table, as the child lay peacefully in a makeshift cradle made from soft blankets from the spa. The environment around him enveloped those present with a sense of peace and security. The meal was served with dishes prepared with the greatest care, paying attention to the diet and well-being of the children. The aromas and details of the place, woven into the atmosphere of peace, helped create a welcoming atmosphere among those who experienced times of change. Raphael carefully observed his surroundings and noticed how the soft lights and simple decorations reinforced the peaceful atmosphere. The gesture of offering food and care showed that even in the midst of difficulties, there is room for gestures of solidarity that change the day and renew hope for a new beginning. As the meal progressed, the atmosphere became lighter and Raphael and Olivia's gazes revealed a peaceful bond. Over time, careful gestures and a climate of empathy created a subtle bond between them, and the proximity of the meeting sparked new and unexpected feelings. Raphael suppressed his thoughts, but he couldn't help but notice the sparkle in Olivia's eyes and the sweet smile that lit up her face. The baby, calm and safe in the makeshift crib, complemented the scene with his innocence and provided a sense of continuity and hope. The setting, with its simple decoration and attention to detail, showed that this moment was unique and allowed humanity to reveal itself without reservation. In this way, the support provided not only transformed a difficult day on the streets, but also renewed confidence that acts of kindness can open the door to a better and more compassionate future. They sat at the table for hours and talked honestly. Raphael forgot his strict routine, and Olivia put aside the difficulties that had been tormenting her lately. The friendly, bright atmosphere of the spa created a space where words could flow naturally. Olivia began to tell her story with a voice full of emotion and courage. She said she got pregnant accidentally by her ex-boyfriend, who left her when she needed him most. She explained that she only came to this country with her boyfriend in the hope of a new life, as her family lived far away in another country. She shared how she experienced moments of fear during her pregnancy, and how the man who accompanied her throughout the journey abandoned her, leaving her to face unexpected challenges and without support. Every detail of his career seemed to indicate a constant struggle for survival in a hostile and unsupported environment. Olivia continued to describe the difficulties that characterized her days. Her pregnancy represented a great risk and her fragile health prevented her from working, so she had to rely on the help of a few friends who initially supported her, but could not maintain her care for long. She recounted how, tired of the collective effort, people gradually stopped offering her their support, leaving her alone and helpless. With no money for rent and no prospects of recovery, she was forced to leave the roof of her house and take refuge in the streets, where every day became a challenge to survive. Pain and uncertainty about the future mixed with fear for the child's health, causing despair to take silent but deep root in his heart. Olivia confessed that the meeting with Raphael took place at a time when she saw no other way to escape the pain. She spent days without food, her body fragile and her spirit broken by lack of support, fearing that her son's health would deteriorate beyond repair. In this scenario of desolation and loneliness, his faith was renewed as he felt a miracle approaching, as if his prayers had been answered. In response to this cry, Raphael appeared and seemed to save her in a moment of deep suffering. His gesture of compassion, which interrupted her routine, lit a flame of hope in Olivia, who saw in this man a way out of this situation. The conversation continued, and the words assured that even in the most difficult times, a simple encounter can change lives and offer a new chance for a better future. Raphael, moved by a sincere impulse and moved by the whole story of Olivia, offered her his protection that night without much thought. He asked her to spend the night at his place and suggested that they discuss what happened next morning more calmly the next morning. The decision was made immediately as his heart opened to the pain and hope mixed in that sad and determined look. He took Olivia in the car, and the two went to his apartment with Olivia's baby. This gesture highlighted the urgent need to care for and support women, remove rigidity from their routines, and create space for compassion. Raphael's unexpected gesture was the result of an inner transformation that gently awakened in him the desire to rewrite destiny and give a new direction to those who were struggling with great difficulties. When Olivia arrived in the village, she found protection and relief, which contrasted with the past of challenges and losses that had marked her. His eyes widened when he saw the size of the house, with its vast spaces and details that revealed a world of possibilities. The carefully maintained surroundings exuded a comfort unusual in the streets I knew. Among the spacious rooms and furniture full of simple elegance, he felt a sense of security and hospitality. The beauty of this place gave her hope for a new beginning, and the confidence that she would finally find a refuge to rebuild her life and that of her son, far from the torment that had accompanied her for so long. In this space of peace, the presence of Olivia and the attentive gaze of Raphael marked the beginning of a transformation in both cases. While she was enchanted by the new environment and imagined the possibility of a new and worthy beginning, Raphael felt an inner turmoil, a mixture of joy and doubt about the paths that opened before them. The contrast between the meticulous order of his previous life and his current innovation was clear. Taking refuge in a villa meant much more than just a place to stay. It was the starting point for profound changes in the way we view the world and care about others. There, between silent glances and gestures of compassion, a new story began to emerge, where hope and courage came together to change the reality of those who once felt abandoned. Olivia controlled her emotions even as a new hope blossomed within her. Although she was excited about the idea of a new start, she preferred not to show her feelings too much. For her, everything Raphael had done was enough, and gratitude was accompanied by the fear of being exposed to truly unexpected changes. Although his gaze was shy, it revealed his desire for a better life and to overcome difficult days. Observing the friendly atmosphere and feeling the human warmth around her, Olivia fought against the need to show all the enthusiasm that beat in her heart, lest vulnerability lead her back to moments of pain and loneliness. Even though this feeling was under control, he dreamed of a future where hope would come true, even without knowing exactly what fate would bring him. That evening, the two men spoke for hours in an atmosphere of silent complicity. Raphael, who previously had a tight and predictable schedule, was fascinated by Olivia's honesty and the stories she told without reservation. There was an atmosphere of intimacy and mutual understanding. In a welcoming atmosphere, there was a meeting of souls who met by chance and felt understood, at least for a moment. As dawn approached, Raphael explained that he had to return to his work commitments and asked Olivia to stay one more day to discuss the next step. Having no other choice and full of gratitude, she accepted the offer. Raphael asked the shelter staff to provide him with the necessary support, demonstrating that his welcoming gesture was not limited to a normal night at the shelter, but also included continuous and attentive assistance. What would have been a night's sleep turned into days, then weeks, as Olivia's life took on new contours in a safe environment. Over time, his presence established itself in the daily life of Raphael's household. The change he experienced was visible in his gestures and in the way he looked to the future with new energy. The supportive and friendly atmosphere of the staff created a space where hope blossomed with each dawn, marking the beginning of a new era for them. Raphael and Olivia began to live together intensely and naturally. They shared fears and anxieties, short stories about their past lives, and moments of hope that united their paths again. Raphael, who had always been locked in the rigidity of his routine, began to change while caring for the child, awakening in him a paternal feeling that he had never felt before. He devoted himself to changing diapers, rocking the baby, and showing him the affection he had lacked as a child. This simple gesture made him feel more human and connected to the reality of Olivia, who little by little opened her heart and shared the pain of loss and the hope of a new path. With each gentle touch, with each knowing look, the barrier that separated them from their past disappeared, and a bond of solidarity and tenderness emerged that united them in an unmistakable way. On a night with a starry sky, pleasant weather, and calm air, they both sat in front of the fireplace. The surrounding atmosphere, the gentle sound of the fire, and the inviting light create the perfect setting for intimate moments. While the baby slept peacefully, Raphael and Olivia relaxed and honestly shared their thoughts. Exchanging drinks, they met looks in different ways, full of emotions that surprised and changed the atmosphere. As he took Olivia's glass and poured the wine, their hands gently touched, creating an unexpected warmth. The gesture was discreet, but full of meaning, instilling in both of them a sense of connection and awakening long-dormant feelings. The feeling of warmth and magic of the moment paved the way for a new connection between them. Overwhelmed by the intensity of the moment, Raphael and Olivia let themselves be carried away by emotions and desire. Their gazes met in inexplicable harmony, their mutual understanding speaking for itself. They took their time and, with open hearts, they moved closer and kissed, thus sealing the partnership they had built over the past few days. This kiss marked the beginning of a new phase of his life and showed that sincere affection and solidarity can transform the pain of the past into hope for the future. Thanks to this gesture, the bond between them strengthened, and they began to walk together, sharing support, affection, and the desire to start again. The meeting between the two, previously only the result of circumstances and gestures of compassion, took the form of a relationship that not only promised to save Olivia's dignity, but also revealed a side of Raphael that she had never imagined. One evening, when the slowly developing harmony was interrupted by an unexpected figure, the tension was felt. Raphael's boyfriend arrived unannounced and quickly became suspicious of Olivia's presence in the house. His critical eye and skeptical words sowed doubt about the woman's intentions, and the friendly atmosphere that had been created gave way to uncertainty. Her presence was not only a reminder of Raphael's unbreakable past, but also a contrast to the unexpected that Olivia represented, disrupting the meticulous order that he held so dear. This conflict between the rigidity of a safe world and the surprise of a new beginning created subtle but lasting tensions and led to every gesture and word being viewed with suspicion, paving the way for revelations that would change the course of this coexistence. Raphael's friend's suspicions quickly turned into a silent investigation that left everyone perplexed. Driven by the desire to understand what really lies behind Olivia's character, she began to delve into the details of the woman's past. Among the old documents and reports that were quietly circulating, a friend discovered a dark secret. Olivia had been arrested for defrauding people to make money. This revelation, full of nuance and pain, shocked the group and overshadowed the new beginning that was beginning to take shape. The revealed secret not only undermined Olivia's credibility, but also exacerbated the conflict between Raphael's rigid lifestyle and the unexpected world he represented. Doubts spread widely, reopening old wounds and calling into question the validity of the feelings developed in this environment, where every look now carried the weight of judgment. Under the growing weight of doubt, Raphael faced a turning point that forced him to reevaluate his decisions and the direction of his existence. His friend's discovery of Olivia's past was a turning point and made him wonder if what he believed could overcome such a deep secret. Meanwhile, Olivia felt humiliated and misunderstood by the widespread hostility and skepticism and decided to leave the sanctuary that once offered her security. Her sudden and inexplicable departure deepened the emptiness that now dominated Raphael's heart, and he sank into pain and doubts about his attitude and inflexibility. Loneliness set in painfully, and an environment once full of hope and renewal was transformed into a scene of introspection and pain, where the fragility of human feelings was revealed in every silence, in every sigh of condemnation at the loss of something that had never seemed possible. Raphael was consumed by doubt. The facts showed that she was arrested, but she did not report the incident. She spoke in detail about her ex-boyfriend, her pregnancy, and her difficult days on the streets, but made no mention of her arrest. The silence made Raphael's heart pound with uncertainty and fueled a feeling he couldn't ignore. Driven by impulse and searching for answers, he hired a detective to find Olivia and explain to her what really happened. It didn't take long for the detective to find her on the street where Raphael had previously met her. Raphael received them with his usual determination and explained that he would not leave this place until all the problems were resolved. Even though Olivia didn't want to talk at first, the seriousness of the situation and Raphael's determination made her promise that if he revealed the truth, he would leave her alone. With a pained face and an uncertain look, she was ready to tell what had happened in the past and what she had tried so hard to hide. Olivia explained that her ex-boyfriend was a persuasive man who convinced her to go to this country herself and leave her parents and friends in her home country. Without the support of her family and far from everything she knew, she found herself under the influence of a man who encouraged her to take small, questionable actions under the guise of a better future. The feeling of love she felt for him led her to ignore the warning signs and gradually begin to engage in behaviors she didn't completely understand. In one such incident, the police arrived unexpectedly and she was arrested for an act she did not fully understand. This event turned his world upside down and left a deep impression. revealing a path riddled with bad decisions and vulnerabilities he could never have imagined. He also said that even after explaining the situation to police, he remained in detention for a year, experiencing seemingly endless days of loneliness and fear. When she was finally released, her ex-boyfriend reappeared unexpectedly, acted mercilessly, got her pregnant, and disappeared shortly after, leaving her to deal with the consequences. This intense story made Raphael seriously question his decisions and the rigidity that had always dominated his life. The revealed secret tarnished the atmosphere of care and hope they had tried to build and left Raphael in pain and uncertainty. The detective, the investigation, and the confrontation with Olivia's past created a whirlwind of emotions that threatened to destabilize what they had built together. The pain, betrayal, and abandonment left their mark, which, despite all the efforts made to overcome them, began to undermine the foundations of a new beginning, which now seemed uncertain and difficult. When Raphael heard Olivia's story, he kept his promise and left the scene, but she remained with her in his thoughts and in his heart. Full of doubts that tormented him, he asked the detective to complete the investigation and confirm the veracity of the facts. For days he lived tormented by fear and loneliness, still remembering the moments spent with Olivia and the painful story she had told him. Eventually, the detective confirmed the truth, and Raphael felt a mixture of relief and remorse. His rational side found answers, but his feelings for Olivia did not diminish. Then he decided to put aside all his coldness and come back to her, determined to explain everything to her and rebuild the trust that was fading because of the revealed secret. This return is marked by an inner urgency which forces him to come to terms with his heart and his extraordinary past. When Raphael returned to Olivia, he introduced himself with firmness and sincerity, demonstrating that his absence had not diminished his feelings. With a determined look on his face, he apologized for the bad impression and explained that he could no longer live without her presence. Although Olivia initially seemed cold and distant, she began to see the change in Raphael's attitude that he felt as he faced the truth and dealt with his own feelings. With pain in her heart, she confessed that what she felt with him was something special, and that after overcoming doubts about her past, she wanted to experience this love with all her strength. The honesty and sensitivity exchanged between them created a climate of renewal, melting the ice of uncertainty and the desire to start again and build something new, based on mutual affection and trust. After this conversation, their eyes met, and a deep bond was formed between them. Raphael and Olivia approached them with gestures that expressed the emotions they both carried, and the friendly silence of the surroundings testified to the alliance formed at that moment. Having no more secrets to keep, they exchanged a kiss, sealing the alliance built in recent days and promising that from now on, there would be no more lies or omissions. This important gesture represented the union of two hearts, eager to overcome the obstacles of the past and embrace a future full of possibilities and true love. The intimacy of this moment reinforced the decision to go hand in hand, knowing that transparency and commitment would be the foundation of their new life together. Thanks for following this story this far. If this story resonated with you, take the opportunity to click the like button on the channel and show your interest in continuing to see more impactful stories. A specially selected video with even more exciting stories will appear on your screen, so you can be even more inspired. Then check out a collection of videos with similar stories that are sure to touch your heart and open new perspectives. Let each story lead you to new discoveries and follow these surprising changes. See you in the next video with moving stories.